The double.
I know.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
All right, that breaking news this morning. A woman is in custody in connection with an early morning fire. It happened about 2 o'clock this morning near Burdette and Florence Boulevard. You see the fire crews on the scene there. Fire officials tell us a firefighter spotted smoke coming from a nearby vacant building. They say a woman was found sleeping in the building and was arrested for trespassing. The good news to report this morning, there were no injuries. The cause of this fire is still under investigation. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Cerise Cole.
I'm Erin Hartley, of course, always joined by Jarrett Lansford and Rusty Lord. We had that one nice day of 50s, just a sweatshirt. It was so great walking outside. Okay, that's over. Now we're back to reality.
The sunshine helped immensely with that day, too. Now we're going to lose both of those. So we get clouds and some much colder air. But still, here's the deal. Average high this time of year, 37. So when I show you the numbers for today and for the course of this 10-day forecast, you'll get an idea of still just how good it is for this time of year. Now, the clouds are moving in, and if you got to travel north today, Sioux City on north to Sioux Falls, that's where you may run into some snow, and you'll likely run into snow by the time you get to Sioux Falls, as this system is going to run right along I-90 the way it looks. So First Alert radar looked in, zoomed in a little closer, and you can see there's a little bit of light snow trying to skirt along our northern edges, and some of this stuff on the south edge might not even be reaching the ground. So we're probably not going to see much of anything in our viewing area, but it gives you a little idea of what you would encounter as you go north today. We just get the clouds. They have been streaming in. They are going to fill up our sky. 26 degrees with a northwest wind at about 6 miles per hour, with the feels like temperature at about 19 at the moment. So you can see a lot of 20s on the map, no matter where you're at this morning. Winds, thankfully, aren't that big of an issue right now. And honestly, compared to where they were yesterday, they're really kind of a non-factor, at least during the daylight hours. Winds out of the east in some way, shape, or form may gust to 15 miles per hour. But notice tonight, there's your wind out of the north. Once they make that switch, they're going to pick up overnight. And those could gust to 25, maybe even 30 miles per hour at times during the overnight hours. So by 8 o'clock, there's your 20s. There's the clouds that are in place, and we're going to see those fill up more and more. 29 by 9 o'clock and heading towards noon, right around 40. Again, it's never going to feel quite as warm as the temperature shows, because the clouds will be limiting the sunshine and a little bit of a breeze, but not much. 43 degrees by 3 o'clock. Kids are probably going to dress a little warmer today, obviously, than they did yesterday. Hints that maybe we get a few flurries getting going on the Iowa side late after the sun sets. Those will slide east, and by 9, 10 o'clock, we'll fall back to near 30 degrees by 10. Overnight tonight, some clouds drop in, but that's the north breeze kicking in that I mentioned a little earlier, and that'll send us back down into the 20s, probably going to have some wind chills in the teens to start tomorrow morning. So the air is going to have a little bit more of a bite. So you can see the numbers that go up and down here over the course of the next several days. There's some weird numbers showing up, though, before we get to the weekend.
A lot of weird things. So we're less wind today.
Yes.
But we are not done by far with the wind this week.
No, and you see that 53-degree day that we just showed you there for a little bit? That is the day where you think, okay, maybe it's a south wind that helps us out, where it is for a little bit. The wind gusts then really start to pick up once they switch and are out of the northwest. So 53 will be the high before the winds really crank up on Thursday. Get a chance to spike before then we'll drop off Friday and Saturday. Let me show you more about the winds, because as we head Wednesday into Thursday, notice by early Thursday, wake up Thursday morning, you'll be watching Daybreak, and you'll notice wind gusts up to 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. Those are out of the south. That's bringing in some of that warmer air. But notice the northwest wind surge we get by the afternoon. Those are some 50-plus mile per hour gusts. As of right now, I think most of those stay out of the viewing area, but it is possible we get one or two that drop in late in the day. So I'm going to say 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts during the late afternoon hours on Thursday, and then that'll start to send the colder air our way for Friday. So again, those are hang on to the car door, watch out for shopping carts, those type of winds. If they trend a little stronger, maybe some 55, maybe some 60 mile per hour gusts. I don't see that in the forecast yet, But then we have to start talking about the possibility of a little damage from those. So that's what we'll be watching heading into Thursday. First alert to a windy day, and we'll see if it trends a little stronger. We get 20s Friday and Saturday, and there's your Christmas forecast. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this here in just a bit. We make a run at 50 degrees, it looks like, over Christmas Day. The record is 57. So if you want to play along at home, that's the number to see if we maybe break a record warm day on Christmas. We'll see.
You know, the good news is if you got a bike or a scooter for Christmas, you can actually go outside.
That's true.
And reasonably enjoy it, because I got to do that as a kid.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. You can play with your outdoor toys.
There you go. Or baseball, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The slip and slide?
No, not. Now you're pushing it.
Parka, maybe.
See, now you're pushing it, Russ.
Okay. Hopefully, traffic conditions are holding up. Right now, you say things going smooth.
It's going pretty well. We're no slipping and sliding on the roads.
Nope.
There you go.
That's
Good road conditions, and the crash that we did have has now cleared. So we're moving in the right direction as we're starting things off on this Tuesday. Here's where we had that crash. It was right about at just past the 680 interchange as you're going on eastbound I-80, but that has gone away and things moving along pretty well through that stretch, as you can see right now. This was the area where we had the crash over on the shoulder, so even when it was there, we were still moving in okay shape through there, but looks pretty good right now on I-80. Where we may have some problems, though, as the morning goes on, and I do want you to keep this in the back of your mind for not just this morning, but as we go through the week and even into the weekend. 72nd and Dodge, and yeah, that's a very busy intersection. We've got some lane restrictions that are in place as you're heading southbound on 72nd. So you're seeing the delays that are already stacking up all the way back to Cass as you're heading southbound on 72nd. But it's not just if you're driving on 72nd. I think Dodge traffic could get impacted a fair bit as the morning goes on too, because you've got people who are trying to turn onto southbound 72nd that have those restrictions to deal with. So this whole intersection going to be an area where we may run into some issues as we go through the morning and as we go through the entirety of the week. A couple other spots that are a little slow. 90th and Maple, you've got some delays that are showing up there. And then as we head into Council Bluffs, you've got some fair delays that are showing up. Highway 92 and Harry Langdon, another spot where we typically do get this to start to be the case as we start off our days. But overall, look at all the green on the map. Isn't that great? Yeah, it's looking very nice out there, and we're hoping we hold on to that and continue to see some smooth travel through the rest of the morning. Of course, if that changes, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So far, so good.
So far, so great.
All right. Jared, thank you. All right, well, new this morning, one person is fighting for their life right now after a bad crash here in the metro. This happened just before 8 o'clock last night near 19th and Cumming. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. It's not clear what led up to the crash. Of course, we'll let you know as soon as we learn more about that or get an update on the victim's condition.
In the meantime, happening today, the Omaha Public Power District is taking a hard look at its response to the July windstorm that we saw. You might remember it knocked out power to more than 220,000 customers, as some were left in the dark for days. Now, the board will discuss lessons learned in the aftermath of that storm and as they look to better prepare for future events that could happen. They will also review plans to invest $36 million in making their systems more resilient. That meeting is happening today at 10 a.m.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, now an update from the First Alert 6 Safety Desk. I'm joined by Maria Cade with the latest information about drinking raw milk.
I know this is something that we've been talking about the past couple of days. Of course, you know, the bird flu warnings, both here and in Iowa as well. And actually today there is a nationwide testing of raw milk that's going on throughout the country. It starts today. They're hoping to find traces of that bird flu in dairy cattle. So raw milk itself, it is linked to other illnesses too. So raw milk, it's simply milk that has not been pasteurized yet. And that's the process of heating milk to a high temperature, which removes disease-causing germs, yeasts, mold, and other harmful microbes as well. Now, according to FDA estimates, less than 1% of Americans drink milk raw. Contaminated raw milk can carry listeria, salmonella, and of course, the bird flu. Now, while some fans of the drink say that there are nutritional benefits, health experts disagree.
This seems to be driven a lot by hype and what we often refer to as the naturalistic fallacy, the idea that because something is somehow more natural, more direct from nature, it is healthier. In this case, this is just really not true.
Now, a foodborne illness from raw milk can cause diarrhea, stomach cramping, and vomiting, according to the CDC. Of course, we don't want any of those, so you want to stay away from that. Now, California, Colorado, Michigan, Mississippi, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, those are the 6 states that are starting that first round of testing. And then, as we go through the other states, of course, we'll keep you updated on that.
They're saying just not drink it. Just don't drink it. All right, you have some important information for those who may be flying for the holiday season.
A lot of people this weekend are going to head out to
the weekend, isn't it?
Destination for holiday travel. But if you are traveling, of course, that can bring some unwanted headaches because of just the sheer amount of people who are going to be out. And this year, TSA says there's going to be a record number of people both on the road and in the skies too. AAA is expecting more than 119 million people to travel at least 50 miles or more, again, starting Saturday between that time and New Year's. Now, nearly 8 million of them are going to be flying. So if you are also flying, you're going to want to expect those long lines. Just be prepared for it. Experts say if you need help getting through security, this includes if you have some young kids with you, you can request help 72 hours ahead of your trip. You can fill out a TSA Cares assistance request. Now, people and families with kids under 2, you'll be able to board first, board early. They'll help you out with that as well. Many airports also have family restrooms, nursing stations, and even some play areas to make it easier for families. Give them something to do while they're waiting if you're getting there extra early. Now, if you're planning on bringing gifts on the plane, I have to travel back home with gifts too. So this is for me. The TSA recommends putting them in bags. Don't wrap them up in the wrapping paper yet until you get to your final destination because they might need to inspect those items.
Yes, and then you'd be sad because all your hard work would be in vain.
They're ripping it up and everything, so we don't want that.
All right, Maria, as always, from the First Alert Safety Desk, thank you, and we'll be back after this short break. Stay with us.
All right, the time now 7:14 on this Tuesday morning. Taking a live look outside. You can see a little bit of that cloud coverage that's going to be hanging around for much of today. Didn't really see that yesterday.
No, it was great. You got the 50s and the sunshine yesterday. Not the case today. The clouds are rolling in, but there's no snow falling from those clouds for us. So there you go, a little positive for you. Maybe leading up to Christmas could be a negative for some. I don't know. Everybody likes a little different weather, but most of the snow is going to stay right along this I-90 corridor here with a little bit trying to sneak in our northern counties. And you can see a little zoomed in look on the radar, just kind of grazing us. You get to Sioux City and north, you're much more likely to run into that snow. So keep that in mind if you're traveling that way. 26 with the clouds filling in right now. That's what you get to start off. Now, most of us are in the 20s. These numbers are going to even out a little bit as the clouds float overhead. South winds will try to drag in a little bit of warmth today, about an east-southeast wind. So 20s become 40s, but this is still above average. But compared to yesterday's sunshine and 50s, clouds and 40s will feel colder. Keep that in mind. Now, the wind won't be a huge factor today, but let me show you what the gusts are going to do later on this evening and overnight. So you notice by about 2 in the afternoon, you're getting some southeast wind gusts here, maybe 15 to 20 miles per hour. That would be about it. Then later on tonight, once the sun sets, we'll get that north wind flipping around a little bit and likely gusted 25 to 30 miles per hour. So that'll be a little noticeable. If you're out late or trying to get up early on Wednesday, you'll see the winds gradually back off during the day on Wednesday as the stronger wind gusts slide to the east. And later on in the afternoon, Wednesday shouldn't be much of a factor at all. So the 10-day forecast here shows a lot of ups and downs. I want to show you the latest on the winds for Thursday here. This high of 53, you're looking at it thinking, hey, that looks like a good day. Get outside and enjoy it. There's going to be quite a few clouds. This high of 53 probably happens early in the afternoon, so there's not going to be time for you to enjoy it when you get home. And you get 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts pretty easily. Some models suggest these go up into the 40s for our wind gusts, so watch for that on Thursday. It looks good, but it may end up being a lot like we had on Monday. It was 50s of sunshine, but it was kind of windy. I think the winds could even be a little bit stronger for Thursday. So that'll cool us off. That northwest wind will howl, and by Friday and Saturday, the temperatures will only top out in the 20s. So a lot of different weather there. I know Thursday sticks out, but I just want to make sure you're aware. It's not a perfect Thursday with 50s out there.
You've painted the picture for us. We get it.
Okay.
All right, so we have to ask you, listen, we are just 8 days away till Christmas, so that's top of mind. We know we're not getting a white Christmas. What are we going to get exactly?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this, obviously, all the way leading up to Christmas, but the odds heavily lean towards being on a warm streak for next week. A lot of 40s easily. Could have some 50s on the way. Do not be surprised. The record high for Christmas Day is 57. Not there now, but we'll see how we trend as we get closer. Would not be surprised to see those numbers go up, and you even look 8 to 14 days out. Almost to the end of the year, we're talking warmer than average weather over a good portion of the area. Now, you look at the precipitation chances. A little bit of snow Tuesday to the north. Today. Thursday's got a system that could impact Minneapolis if you're heading that direction. But overall, here's the only chance of any moisture I think we could see for our area. It would be this little Tuesday rain chance. So Christmas Eve, if it gets cold enough, maybe that could turn into a little snow for Christmas. But right now it's warm enough. That's all rain.
All right. Wow, a little bit different than I think what we're normally used to.
No kidding.
Okay, just as we were saying that things were going to be smooth, 2 new crashes now.
Yeah, things not so great now, right? So let's start with the one that's on I-80. This is right around 144th. Now, thankfully, like our prior crash that we had on I-80, this is on the right shoulder, so you're getting through an okay shape, but you're noticing a lot of brake lights as drivers are heading through this area. This is, again, right near 144th. So watch for that as you're heading through that area. This is what it looks like. Not seeing any big delays showing up from that one, so that's encouraging, but watch for that being on the shoulder. The other one, 132nd and Center, and I've been seeing some pretty consistent slowing that's been showing up near this intersection as well. So watch for that if you head through that area. So we went from things being very quiet to suddenly now we have 2 crashes that we have to watch, so make sure you're being aware of that. Still watching 72nd and Dodge as well. We are looking at southbound being the main impacts at the moment, but as we continue to bring more vehicles on the road, I'll keep an eye on that. I also want to first alert you to this real quick. As you're heading on Farnham between 17th and 18th right near the courthouse today, starting at 8, expecting 2-lane travel. So you've got all the lanes that are heading 1 lane direction to go westbound through that stretch. You only have 2 of them today only as they do some work through that stretch, so be prepared for that. We'll zoom things out and you notice that most areas, including some of our big problem spots usually at this point in the morning, JFK, Dodge, look pretty good. Just watch for those 2 crashes that I pointed out there, 132nd and Center, and then I-80 eastbound right near 144th.
All right, Jarrett. Like to see green. Thank you. Happening today, the Omaha City Council is holding a public hearing.
It's on a motion to establish a Good Life District economic development in the area of 192nd and West Dodge Road. Now known as Avenue 1, developers see it as a western gateway to Omaha. Last month, voters approved a measure allowing the project to use revenue from the Good Life District. Also today, the next chapter in the Omaha Crossroads Development Project.
That's right. The exact details still under wraps, but we do know Omaha Mayor Gene Stothard and officials from the Woodbury Corporation will be there. The announcement takes place this morning at 11 a.m., so we will see.
A lot of people looking forward to some development there, right?
I know.
Well, the location for Husker football's 2025 season opener has been set.
That's right. What you need to know so you can get in on the fun when we come back.
Arrowhead Stadium is no stranger to a sea of red for the Chiefs on Sundays. Go Chiefs. But next August, a sea of Husker red will descend on KC. Nebraska football will open the 2025 season against Cincinnati at Arrowhead.
Yeah, this game moved from Cincy to Indy, now finally Kansas City. The game will also be now on a Thursday night, August 28th. The Bearcats will be the home team. Tickets go on sale to the public tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. is when you can get those tickets.
Oh, I like it, but I wish it was on a Saturday.
No kidding. There'll be a lot of people taking Friday off.
Exactly.
The one thing about the Huskers' move to the Big Ten is there's not a lot of road trip games. It's very difficult to drive to a lot of places, so that's an option for people if they want to do
That
a
is
road
true.
game.
I want to go.
Yeah.
You
Nobody's
should.
driving to Let's do it.
I mean, you have August, plenty of time to plan.
I
And,
do.
There you go.
Get some barbecue while we're there.
If we're all gone on that day.
I was gonna say, like, you should go.
That's my point.
Okay. Well, some of us will stay, but
It needs to be on Saturday. But this, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
My son goes to KU, and because their football stadium was being renovated, all their games have been at Arrowhead, and I went, and it's a good time for one time.
Sounds like people really enjoying it.
Yeah. All right.
And the environment to get to play at the NFL stadium too. That's really awesome.
College kids like that.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us this Tuesday morning. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today's Show. You can watch it here on streaming or live on the air.
all right, have a great start to your Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley of Crash to give you an update about. We'll check in with Jarrett Lansford.
Slow travel as you're making your way toward 132nd and Center. You can see all directions are being impacted, and especially as you're heading eastbound through this intersection. So watch for delays, maybe some travel flow that is being restricted or altered with that crash scene being worked. So be careful as you head into that area. A different crash, I-80 eastbound as you're heading just past 144th. This one thankfully on the right shoulder, so not impacting traffic too much, but you see the brake lights lighting up as you head through there, so that's something to watch. Also a pretty sizable slowdown showing up now on I-80. This is right around the 60th area as you're heading in both directions, so some sort of issue that has just popped up there. Watch for that as you head through that stretch. Rusty.
All right, thanks, Jared. Noticeably colder, a little less sunshine as we're starting off the day today, and that's going to be the theme with all these clouds that have to pass through. You see the snow, don't worry about it. It's all going to stay to our north. Shouldn't be a big problem. At worst, maybe some flurries out there, but you can see those are staying on our far northern counties. If you go to Sioux City up to Sioux Falls, that's where there's going to be a problem. There's the sunrise. Boy, the clouds and the rising sun color messing with the camera a little bit there. We're at 26 with a feels like temperature of about 19 as the clouds continue to filter in. So most of our feels like temperatures pretty close to the air temperature with a light breeze out there. The wind won't be much of an issue today. It'll pick up tonight, though. North wind gusts overnight, 25 to maybe even 30 miles per hour. We go to 43 for the high today.
In the meantime, a woman is now in custody in connection to an early morning fire. This happened around 2 a.m. near Burdette and Florence Boulevard. Fire officials say a firefighter spotted smoke coming from a nearby vacant building. They say a woman was found sleeping inside and was arrested for trespassing. The good news is no injuries to report. The cause is still under investigation.
It is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.
Your First Alert 6 weather forecast is sponsored by Getchman.